Peace and blessings, beautiful people. Peace and blessings. This is Empress Imani, and welcome to this episode of Sacred Love Lessons. This episode of Sacred Love Lessons is sponsored by sacredloveshop.com. sacredloveshop.com, where you can find tools for your spiritual and personal development. So today, you guys, I wanted to talk about put yourself on. Put yourself on. You know, with everything that's going on today, there's so much uncertainty. And, I was studying, I think it was Sunday. I got a message and I was thinking about Noah's Ark, right? So I went and I read about it. I remember, the story. And if you don't remember, I'll give you like a brief overview during this lesson. Okay, so here's the story about Noah's Ark. So Noah, he was doing his thing. He had a family, wife, kids, that sort of thing, adult children. And where he lived, the people were not the best of people. I imagined where he lived seemed like there was a lot of debauchery going on, maybe a lot of narcissists, sociopaths, psychopaths, toxic people, whatever they were, even if they did not have a medical diagnosis, these people were absolutely toxic. So God was like, what the, and I imagine, this is me paraphrasing. God was like, oh, hell no. This is not what I sent y'all down here to do. And y'all play too much. Okay. So God decided, hey, I'm going to have to go ahead and take care of business. So God goes to Noah and say, Noah, look, you the only person down here being the light. Okay. Noah was letting his light shine, being the light. And amidst all these dark, toxic people. And God said, look, this is what I need you to do. Because I can't count on nobody else. I'm going to have to come through you. Go ahead and build this ark. We're going to put the animals on the ark. We're going to put you and your people on the ark. And all this other stuff over here, yeah, that's all going away, right? So Noah was like, okay. So Noah and his sons, they started building the ark, doing the thing, right? And of course, during this time, Noah just continued to be the light. And all around him, keep in mind, he was surrounded by toxic people. People who just lie all the time. Promiscuous people. Just debauchery. Thieves. People stealing. People motivated by money and sex and just foolishness, right? Like just, oh my God. I can't even imagine. Well, yes, I can. Anyway, because that sounds a lot like what I see today. So he's just surrounded by all of this foolishness. But Noah continued to follow God's orders and instructions. He did what God said to do. Him and his sons, they built the ark. During this time, because it didn't happen overnight. Like I looked up the dimensions. Okay, how big was the ark? I think the numbers may be a little bit disputed or I don't know, debated or whatever. But I know that the ark was at a minimum, a football field and a half, 1.5 football fields. That's pretty huge, right? Considering what all he was carrying too on the boat. So that I wouldn't even call it a boat. That's not even doing it a service to say boat. Let's say vessel, right? This vessel that he had created. So then I was curious. I was like, okay, well, what are the ships like today? Because, I live down here in South Florida. We're down at the port or we drive by the port all the time. You can just see the ships, coming and going. These things are huge. So I imagine that it was something like that, right? Because I think maybe, I don't know if it's Allure of the Seas. That's the biggest ship now out there. But anyway. So during this time, Noah continued to be the light. He went around spreading the good news, encouraging people to be the light and, to just be good. Like how hard is that? Do right. That really is hard for a lot of people. Some people are just so wicked. That really is hard for them. And so they laughed at Noah. And But they wasn't laughing when it started raining, right? So, when the time came, Noah had to go on and retreat. Him and his family, the animals, all of that. God did what she was going to do. And, they went off. And the other people, they got caught up in the flood and they died, right? So let's apply this story to modern day, right? 2020, where we are right now. So everybody started out, right, in the same boat. Everybody was in the same position. Everyone had the same opportunity. And with everything that's going on in our world today, the playing fields have been leveled to a certain degree, right? Of course, there's always going to be people who already have more resources at their disposal. But for the most part, right, things have been leveled out. We're all, for the most part, still working remotely, working from home if you can. People are still, shape-shifting, trying to find out, okay, where do I need to be? How do I accommodate this new normal? Trying to find their place in life. We're all in that space, no matter where you are on the totem pole. And these are questions that you are either asking yourself or you should be asking, right? So everyone's in the same boat. Okay, so then what happens? While we're all in this same boat, right? We all have to overcome fear, doubt, pride, ego, chaos, pain. We all have to overcome those same issues. Now, of course, everyone's going to handle the situation differently, because Noah, he was like, okay, whatever, let me go on and do what I got to do. Noah was very resourceful. Noah was obedient. Noah was a manifester. Noah was the magician. Of course, he had help. But still, he had to accept, right? He had to accept help. He had to be positive in a negative situation. And being positive in a negative situation is not naive. That's leadership. A lot of times people will look at you and bless their little heart. They will look at you because you are so kind and so giving and you are being the light, that they somehow mistake your light for weakness. And shame on them. They somehow mistake your light for weakness. And then, in the end, when they have realized they have made a grave mistake, that you are not weak, that you actually have superpowers that they know nothing about, then all of a sudden, they outside knocking at the door. Golly! Y'all, can y'all imagine people who were outside knocking on the door? Outside the boat, trying to knock on the door. Hey, trying to find a way to get in. They've been plotting and scheming, trying to find a way to get back in. But guess what? God sealed the door. She sealed the door. There is no way to get back in, right? You either are a part of the manifestation or you are not, okay? So you got to do whatever you got to do to overcome your fear, your doubt, your pride, your ego, your chaos, your pain, whatever it is. Because keep in mind, we're all in the same boat here. But it's how you handle that to bring you into alignment with the manifestation. Okay? Then you also have to plan ahead. Like, what kind of plan do you have? Keep in mind that when Noah first got the instructions, the charge, the sacred purpose to build the ark, it wasn't raining. These people didn't even know what rain was. And they lived over 100 miles from the ocean. They hadn't even seen bodies of water like that. So that's why a lot of them were just laughing like, girl, what up? They looked at Noah like, please. That's why they was laughing. Because that had never happened in their lifetime. But look where we are today. Look what's happening in our world today. Did we ever think that the world would be put on pause the way that it has been. Oh my God, none of us saw this coming. None of us, right? So they never saw the rain coming, right? So you got to plan ahead. And then, you guys, you got to stay on top of your game. You got to invest in your self-care, make yourself a priority, and that sort of thing. Because especially with what's going on right now, okay, you got to stay grounded and just stay on top of things, because you cannot afford for your immune system to go down. You cannot afford to be overtaken by stress. You cannot afford to be in low vibe energy, because when you're in low vibe energy, you are unable to manifest. Get out in nature, right? Get next to some water, get out in nature, get on YouTube and find some meditation music, breathe, pray, do whatever you got to do. Get away from negative, toxic people, right? Seal yourself up in the ark. Get away from negative, toxic people. Eat better. Work out. Even if you just go for a walk. Do whatever you can do to stay vibing on a high frequency, right? So then you're going to have to ignore your critics. This one here is so funny, because I experienced this one a lot in my own personal life, where people do not have the ability to see. Like for me, that's one of my superpowers. I can see. I have the ability to see past illusions, to see past the veil. And a lot of people don't have that. So when those people either don't have it, or they have it and they're not using it, or maybe they have it and they're just vibing on a low frequency and it's ineffective, they can't see, those people will tend to gossip about you. They will say negative things. They will question and doubt you. Why are you doing that? They will speak all kind of evil against you. And this was happening to Noah. But Noah just continued to be the light. And I encourage you today to continue to be the light. Do not listen to your critics. Ignore that. Okay? Because sometimes it is in these moments, right, when great things happen. I mean, just think about history. When things happen, it was in those moments that titans, like greats that we read about in our history books, when they rose to the occasion, new things were invented. Things came about. It was when, people who had the resources, or they at least was resourceful in order to get what they needed, they started buying up land, like prime properties. It was like monopoly, buying up prime locations way back when. And then when things turned around, they were on top. We don't even have to go far back, to the Depression to see who came out on top. We can just go back to the market correction of '08. If you were in a position, or if you had enough vision to see and enough resourcefulness to collaborate, then you could raise up above what was happening and seize the moment. So I encourage you today to ignore your critics. Vibe high. Get into your manifesting energy. Be resourceful. There are opportunities all around you, but you have to be able to see them. And if you are sitting at home, stressed, crying, sitting there watching TV and participating in all manner of debauchery, okay, even if you're just going around lying all the damn time, okay, yeah, you're not going to be able to manifest. You won't. And if you're coming from a position where you're trying to manipulate, deceive, take advantage, hit a lick, however you want to say it, trying to do that to people, yeah, you're not going to be successful. So cut that bullshit out, okay? Moving on. So then you want to build your future on high ground, right? And that just goes into what I was just saying. You want to rise above what you're currently seeing and experiencing. And then don't be afraid to reach out and ask people, right? Ask people for help if you need help. Ask people to, hey, let's collaborate. Let's get together. Let's do what we can do, right? Now, everybody has to carry their own water, right? Everybody has to do their own inner work. But there's nothing wrong for reaching out and saying, hey, let's do it together, right? Now, the thing with let's do it together, you have to be vibing on the same frequency that the person that you're asking for help or asking to collaborate with. Yeah, you got to be on their level. Don't expect people to reach down to pull you up because they're not. No. You got to come to the table with equal or greater value. Yeah. And then keep in mind that speed is not always a requirement. It's not always an advantage, because the snails and the cheetahs were both on the ark. Both of them were on the ark, right? So sometimes slow and steady wins the race. And this has always been this has been my life philosophy, where slow and steady wins the race for me. I just show up every day on a regular and consistent basis. Every day I show up for myself. I do the work, whatever it needs to be done that day. I don't worry about what got to be done tomorrow, what has to be done next week. What needs to be done today? What little can I do today? And then when I get to the end, I can turn around and I can see, oh, wow, I have made great strides, great accomplishments, and I have risen above my situation, right? So slow and steady wins the race. And then also be the expert. You're already an expert, okay? Everyone is an expert in something. Find out what that is. Go inside and find out what that is and tap into your expertise, right? Don't be looking for other people to have the answer, right? I used to do that, you guys. I don't do that anymore. But for some reason, I think that was part of that old school thinking, right? I grew up like that, thinking someone else had the answer, not realizing that everything that I needed, from the answers to the love, the self-validation, everything, the self-acknowledgement, everything that I need is inside of me. So I don't need someone else to give me answers. Now, I'm not above consulting with people, like if it's an area outside of what I need, like, technical stuff. Like, I'm not an AC repair person, right? So if the AC goes out, we call the AC people. Or same thing with my car. If something goes on with my car, we call the car people. We let them do that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about as it pertains to my sacred purpose. I don't need someone else to instruct me on what I need to be doing as it relates to my sacred purpose. Like, I got that. But in the past, right, I used to look for answers outside of myself. And then it was like the light went on, right? And it was like, it took me a while to get it, because for a long time I was saying everything you need is inside of you. But for a long time, my lower self and my higher self, it just wasn't connecting, right? It was like some kind of block there. And then finally, the light went on. The light went on, you guys. And I was like, wait. And I realized that all of the answers that I need are inside of me. That I am the key. You guys heard about that in the episode Follow the Yellow Brick Road. And if you haven't listened to that one, go back and listen to Follow the Yellow Brick Road, right? I am the key. You are the key, right? To your reality. You are the key to your dreams. You are the key to your manifestation. And everything that you need is inside of you. The answers you seek are inside of you. So don't even bother looking outside, because you're not going to find them. Okay. Okay, so then the final thing is that, we're all in the storm together. And no matter the storm, there's always a rainbow on the other side. Okay? When God is for me, there's no person who can be against me. They think they're against me, but really, they're not. They're delusional, right? No one can be against me. And God is faithful even when we're not. So you're not in this alone. You have help. You need to ask for help from the divine creator, source, whatever you call it, right? Whatever you call it, ask for help. Tap into your archangels, your orishas, your ancestors, Buddha, Krishna, whatever you go to, whatever your divine creator is. And if there is no divine creator for you, tap into your higher self. Your higher self, right? Because the wisdom, divine wisdom, is there and it is waiting for you, right? So anyway, that was what I wanted to share with you today. Put yourself on. This was inspired. This episode was inspired by the story of Noah's Ark. And I hope this has been of value to you. Every day is Self-Love Day. Do not forget that. To make yourself a priority, to invest into yourself, to take care of yourself so you can vibe high, so you can manifest, and you can bring forth all of those things that you desire for your highest good into your life, right? If this episode has been of value to you, please remember to share it with your family and your friends and on your social media. You can go over to sacredloveshop.com and find all manner of good things for your spiritual and personal development. And until we speak again, be the light.